And now, live from Isolation Station in Burbank, California, it's the Holly Jolly Plague Week 41 of the Alison Rosen is Your New Best Friend show. Tonight, Alison welcomes her guest. He's a comedian and former lead reindeer for Santa's sleigh. It's David, the regular-nosed Huntsberger. And she's a writer and general manager of the North Pole Custard Lickers in the Elven Football League. It's Wendy, the Mistletoe Molyneux. Tone Zone is here to celebrate the old-fashioned way by sprinkling himself with the blood of sacrificed animals, then drinking ale till he passes out at the feet of the Yule Goat. I'm her husband, Daniel, saying hop on board the love sleigh and say ho, ho, ho to your new best friend, Alison Rosen.
Alison Rosen. Alison Rosen is your new best friend. Alison, with her good times never end. Alison Rosen, doing the wavy pencil dance again. Alison Rosen, Alison's your new best friend.
Hello, my little Scotcheroos. Welcome to another exciting episode of Alison Rosen is Your New Best Friend. That particular carbohydrate was sent in on Patreon. By Angela D. And she said it is a peanut butter flavored Rice Krispie treat covered in melted chocolate and butterscotch. That sounds delicious to me. If you would like to send in a carbohydrate that I can call you, and also if you'd like to see this video, if you'd like behind the scenes content, bonus episodes every week, so much access to me, you'll beg me to leave you alone. Patreon.com/Alison Rosen. If you sign up for a year, you get 2 months free. You can also sign up monthly. I would like to say hello to my guests on what is the second to last Thursday show of 2020. Good riddance to this year. Wendy Molyneux. Hello.
Hi.
Welcome back.
Thank you. It's nice to be back.
It's nice to have you back. I can't wait to catch up. And I have to ask you a question about children and presents. Dave Huntsberger. Hello.
Hi.
How's it going?
Oh, good. How are you?
I am good. And I would have a question for you, except your baby is too young to be a factor in this.
Okay.
Tony, hello.
You did it.
I did it. Yeah. I it was never a problem. And then I started forgetting to introduce you. And then I remembered again. And then last week I forgot again. For people who are charting it at home,
yes,
who are putting a little thumbtack for each week. But I did it this time.
You did. It seems like the more you talk about it, then the more often you forget, I've noticed. Seems like when it wasn't ever talked about, then it was just like, it always happened. But I guess obviously there was no reason to talk about it if it wasn't happening. Oh, this is crazy.
Wow.
Now.
This is like for my brain, it's like those finger cuffs.
Yep. That's what I was going for.
Yeah. Like the more So the more I think about it, it's like I'm making it a thing and then psyching myself out, maybe?
I mean, I'm no expert, but that's just an observation from an outsider.
But you're an insider.
Well, depends on how you
Not
look
to
at
my
it.
brain, though. So what I was going to say is that I think maybe, Tony, the reason that this time I remembered is because you are in such a festive location. Like you have been slowly stepping up your holiday spirit to the point where it is more festive possibly than Allie McKay's background. You got multiple Christmas trees. There's lights. There's stuff glinting off of your gold records. I mean, it's just Christmased out. And then you got me with my like pretty sad background, but I've got a few lights happening. And then you've got Dave who's in like a bunker and there's no Christmas. And then Wendy just switched her background and now it's like a Hallmark movie.
It felt competitive. But now it's virtual, so my arms are like disappearing into it and stuff.
Yeah.
Who needs your arms?
I don't
It's
know.
a podcast.
I definitely don't.
And while we're talking backgrounds, again, you can see this video on Patreon. Do I look like someone in like I could have used a V8 commercial to you guys? Do I look off center?
No.
Because it feels, it's not off center, but it feels tilted. Like my computer is on a box and it feels not upright.
That's your go-to. Things are a little askew. Is you could have used a V8.
Well, no. Today it is. You remember those commercials? The person will be, oh, you don't?
Yeah.
I mean,
you're like
it
sideways
sounds-
and then somebody bonks you on the head and it's like, you could have used a V8.
Yeah, it's like someone walking down their office hall, but they're diagonal.
No, these don't ring a bell. But that sounds very in line with what I think the advertising crew at V8 would would come up with. Straighten you right out, V8. We'll straighten
right.
you out. We're V8.
It doesn't really make sense, actually. Like, why would a blend of vegetable juices make you walk straight? Wendy, you work in television. What do you think?
Well, because all the vegetables, when you eat them, they go to one side of your body. And if you don't have any, then the meat side starts to get heavier. The left side is the meat side. So if you eat a lot of meats and cheeses and other like pastas and stuff, your body will slowly actually list to the left because that's where all that food goes. That's the left half of your body.
I
And so
always
then you
heard
eat
the
the
opposite.
vegetables. Well, I mean, I guess you could hear the opposite. It doesn't change the facts. And then if you eat the vegetables, it'll get heavier on the right side and your body will go straighter again.
Now,
So-
this is like your left side. Like if I'm looking at you.
Yeah, no, not stage left or stage right or whatever. It's like your own personal body, your left side. Now, David, you might be talking about how some people, like, you can be right brained or left brained, but for some people, those hemispheres are switched at birth. So some people do, you're right, store their meats and cheeses in their right side. But you could tell very easily, just eat a bunch of meat and cheese one day and see which way you're listing, right or left.
But have a
feel
V8 on hand.
That was always kind of when I was dating one of my first questions. Like, are you
Yeah.
meat left or meat right? And most people I felt like were meat right. And
Well,
they
I
would
don't
just
know.
say, some people are born meat left and then become meat right.
I don't think that's not possible.
You can't switch.
No. It's like when you're born, it's a thing. Like which side, because it goes down which tube, your meat tube or your veggie tube.
Yeah.
And then those are into different sides of your body.
Have you ever gotten a piece of meat caught in your veggie tube? Oh, man.
Yeesh.
Yeah.
Very
that's
uncomfortable.
bad.
It's very bad. It's very uncomfortable. Since we're talking about things you consume, I think we should start with my signature segment that I never remember the name of. Yes, please, or oh, please. And this show is not about diplomacy. It's not about getting along. We're about fresh, hot, from the gut takes that maybe are going to get us canceled about things that affect all of us. Let's hear the song, Tony.
He said, yes, please, give me some of that. Oh, please, that's much crap.
Someone boiling tea.
Yeah. Sorry.
That's okay. I
I
like it.
didn't know that my husband asked me if I wanted some tea. And I said yes, but I thought it was already heated. But now we got a nice. Oh, did I tell you oh, no, we're in the middle of a segment. I'll tell you my teapot story afterwards.
Okay, don't let me forget.
Can't.
No, I want to hear it now.
Okay. It's very short. I put in a shipped order to get a teapot because we had just moved and we never had a teapot in our old house. And I was like, I want a teapot. And it was the teapot cost, I think, $24.77. They charged me $24,778. And I can send you the receipt, Allison, so you can put it on your site.
I would
people
love to.
will know that I'm not kidding. I got a notification on my phone that was like, your shopper has finished shopping. Your bill is like $25,000. And I was
Oh
like,
my God.
oh no. Like I didn't know whether a crime was in progress or there was a simple mistake with a decimal. It turned out to be the latter, but it was an absolute freak out for me. And then I loved it. Once it was all settled, I was like, I love that I have a receipt that I paid $25,000 for a teapot.
Did the shopper not realize this had happened?
I don't know that I can't piece together. He seemed like a very nice man because he also called me on the phone and said, it's all been straightened out. I guess I think at the checkout, they charged me $25,000 for a teapot.
That's pretty exciting.
Yeah. I don't know. It was 5 minutes of thrill and then nothing.
Take what you can this year.
Exactly.
It's hard to come by.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and that reminds me, I have to ask you about packages, but first let's do, oh my God, David Huntsberger felt the pressure to Christmasify his background. And now he is upstaging all of us. You're like in a Christmas episode of Downton Abbey.
Yeah, it's
gorgeous.
Thank you. It's a holiday house. Not everyone has one of those. It's been in the family for ages. I thought I'd whisk us over there. And I hope you're enjoying the journey.
Yeah.
We're not allowed upstairs, by the way.
I was going to ask, which staircase. You've got two curved staircases that looks like they take you to the same place. And I was going to ask which one you use, but have you ever
Never
even
been up
there?
Never.
What goes on?
I have no idea. As a kid, I would get zapped, like electrocuted. And it was always a different step. Sometimes I'd skip over step 3, buzzed on step 5. Could never tell.
Huh. Do you think a crime is happening?
I have no idea. No one would ever tell me. It's written in some book that's kept in a safe, but no one in my family has a key or a code or anything like that. So I don't know.
They're probably just doing a Jurassic Park up there.
I assume so. There's probably some sort of, I guess, world-changing, maybe a portal, maybe a dimension-looking portal shift. I tried to fly a drone one time near one of the windows that was slightly ajar, and the drone just evaporated. It just vaporized.
Whoa.
So I don't know
God.
what's going on up there.
And I don't want to alarm you, but over I think it's your left, so your veggie shoulder, seems like there's a drunken, passed out Santa Claus or like the husk of a Santa Claus. What is that?
Oh, yeah, that is a Home Alone style necessary kind of if you need a prop. He's on wheels, and you can use a rope. It'll go back and forth in front of the window. So people just know that you're home doing Christmas stuff.
And then also over the same shoulder, it looks like there's like a sliding glass door into like a front desk area.
Yeah, that goes into the office. It used to be a play area, and then we put in a printer, and now you can go do business stuff in there.
I like that your mic, that the background is on the mic, creating like a sort of a penis shape towards your face.
Yes, I hadn't thought of it that way, but yes.
Hey, what is going on there? Come on.
Yeah.
There we go.
There you go.
I just gotta take my hand there. Look,
Yeah, it recognizes your hand, but it thinks the mic is part of your background.
Not
of your
anymore.
home.
I just
Nope,
have to.
that looks so comfortable.
I know you're
That's
just
so
gripping,
casual.
gripping the mic.
Wow, you guys podcasting? Cool.
Now I'm the
I
only
have something to say.
Now I'm the only one and I even have Christmas lights flashing on and off, but they're like nothing compared to what, you know what? We're going to have to take the show photo again at the end.
Definitely.
Don't let me forget that. There's a lot that you need to remember to remind me of.
I'm going to remember.
Okay. So yes, please, or oh, please. Today we're going to be talking about eggnog, something seasonal, something that I thought everyone enjoyed, but then we did it as a snack chat on the show last year, which feels like 4 years ago. And I've discovered that they don't. So again, we're looking for just like Bethany Frankel does, tell it like it is. Do you give it a yes, please, which is yes, I like it, or an oh, please, which means you want it banished from the earth? Dave, you're going to start.
Okay, what item are we discussing?
Oh, good. Eggnog.
Sorry. I thought I started thinking about previous ones we'd done, and then I was like, is this about candy corn? Eggnog makes sense. We sampled a bunch last year, right?
Oh, were you on that show?
Yeah. And that was really fun. Some of them are really spicy and good. And then I think we all changed our stances at that point as to some of the cheaper ones were horrific. And so if you've been at a party where they served that, you're like, I hate eggnog. But some of the higher end ones, if you can call them that, I think were pretty good. I enjoyed them.
So what's your splashy, noisy take?
Oh, yeah. First of all, are you interested in magic? My hot take on eggnog is we've all been through a lot this year. If someone likes eggnog, let them fucking have it. And if you don't like eggnog, don't drink it. So I remain somewhat impartial as far as some eggnogs are good, some are not so good, and you just gotta keep trying. If you haven't had a good one yet, keep trying eggnog. You'll find one that suits your palate.
Don't come for us if you can't handle the heat.
Take that, internet.
Wendy, what about you?
Well, I have a nog to recommend.
Lay it on us.
I've only had one nog in my life. I only had eggnog one time, and it was at my friend Brent Mitchell's house, and his mom or dad made it, and it was wonderful. Never had it since. So as far as I know, eggnog is great at Brent Mitchell's house. The rest of the world, I don't know. Fuck off. See, I'm being really spicy. Fuck off, everyone except Brent Mitchell's family. You don't know how to make eggnog. Only the Mitchells do. But I did also have some eggnog tea once. It was a flavor, and I found it quite enjoyable. So as far as I know, also my only other nog is I think nog is a fun word.
Yeah.
And one time, my husband and I, our job used to be to write promotional advertisements for the NBC television network. Heard of it? And we had to promote the show Joey. And I remember that Jeff wrote a line for a Joey promo where he said, "Will you come and join me?" He was sitting in a hot tub and he said, "Will you come join me for a hot nog?" And I liked it. I liked what he said. I liked when Joey said hot nog. But maybe I only liked that my husband wrote it. And I liked that combo of words.
You like a personal connection to your eggnog, it seems.
Yeah.
I like to go deep with my eggnog.
I remember that you and Jeff described that job, discovering that job exists as like finding a room in your house that you had never been into.
It was actually finding a door to a room you didn't know existed, because the door was a friend who already worked in it.
Oh, nice.
And had we not had a friend who worked in that job, we would have never known that was a job that one could have. And then once we had it, we were like, let's never not have this job, because it was a really fun job.
But then now you don't have it.
No, I mean, now we write for TV shows, which I like very much, but now I look fondly back, like promo. I didn't take my work home at night. A lot of times it was just like, oh, you work during the day, you can get all your writing done. On a TV show, it's like never done. So it's like stuff at night. So I don't know. I also worked with great people that I loved and still love. So I look back fondly on that time. I wasn't like, get me out of the small town world of promo and into big time TV writing. Like I never felt that way. I felt like, oh, what a wonderful job. So I don't know. Maybe I liked it.
Such a good attitude. Now let's drill down into this nog situation. You had it at Brent or Brett Mitchell's?
Brent's.
This reminds me a little bit and I think I've told the story before, Bald Brian, my former coworker and current friend, former coworker, came up to me and very quietly said, we were at a thing that my husband was at and a bunch of people were at. He's like, "Remind me again, is your boyfriend Brandon or Brendan?" It was Daniel.
Yeah.
And I said, "It's neither." But anyway, sorry, you said Brent?
Brent.
So this was homemade eggnog, not out of carton. But if you liked
it was in a big silver pot. I remember they were ladling it into like nice cups. So you were getting like a whole concierge experience.
That sounds delicious. I think that's kind of different than the carton experience. But how come you've never attempted, like they have it in the store around Christmas every year. How come you've never wanted to get it?
I looked up the recipe this year to see if I wanted to make it. But that would be just me and Jeff drinking a bunch of eggnog on Christmas. I don't know. We might get too drunk.
Well, you don't have to put alcohol in it.
Sure. Come on, Alison. Don't be a baby. You have to put alcohol in it. That's what made it so good.
Yeah,
I'm telling you.
That's where I stand with it. Like, I don't particularly care about it unless you're giving me a fun cocktail with it. Like,
otherwise, it's like halfway to a cake, right? It's just milk and eggs and cinnamon, and it's not a cake, but it's getting there. But put some alcohol in and you got yourself a drink.
I love you all, but you're all fired until you come back with hot takes.
I had a hot take.
You did,
said put alcohol in it or it doesn't count, and I called you a baby.
You're right. You're right. You're right. You never know what's going to happen next when Wendy's around.
Shit, I didn't do a good job.
No, you did. I'm bringing the heat. Okay, so everyone so far. Well, Dave was a yes. Dave was in the middle. Wendy, you're a yes, please. If it's from Brent Mitchell's mom.
Brent.
Tony, you're a yes,
or
please. If it has has alcohol, and I am a yes, please. I really like it. Yes. Some of the cheaper ones tasted like bubblegum and made me want to like pull the line. If there was a lining on the inside of my mouth that I could remove and just have a new fresh mouth in there, that's what I wanted to do. It was gross, but in general, I'm yes, please. And the one I particularly like is Almond Breeze Almond Nog. And I think that ranked
hot take
pretty highly last year.
It did.
I'm going to give you a hot take on almond milk.
Oh,
terrible. It's dry. It dehydrates your mouth. It's like putting an almond in your mouth and then it takes all the water out. I don't understand how it's milk. I'll go to my grave on this one.
Have you tried?
Come get me, big fucking almonds.
Wait, are you talking about almond? Are you talking about almond milk?
Yeah. So I can only imagine that the nog is a nogamare. Bye. Bye, everyone. Happy Christmas. I'll see you next year.
The idea of dry milk, I know.
Thank you, Tony.
I know
Happy
exactly
Christmas.
what you mean. I know exactly what you mean. But Almond Breeze is actually one of the more wet almond milks. But there, like, also there's like a cashew milk.
Almond Breeze. We're a wet almond milk around here.
Come get
When
our
we
wet
started
milk.
It's so you parched? Well, for 55 years, we've been brewing almond milk, fresher and more hydrated than anything you've ever drank in your life.
Do you like
Try
a wet
almond
milk?
breeze.
Have a wet milk. It's the grossest phrase that ever was created.
This milk is wet. I like it.
Do you have anything I could use to moisten my milk, Alison? It's just a very dry. Could you moisten it?
Put an almond in it.
You wanted hot takes. You fucking stirred the pot, and now here we are.
I did. I know. Okay, so here is my package question, Wendy.
Oh no.
Elliot is obsessed with packages arriving. This started even before Christmas. Anytime we get a delivery of anything, he is like, a package arrived, and he wants to open it right away. Even if it's not for him, he just wants it to be opened. How can we open? How can we is his way of hinting that how can I have something to eat? How can I this? How can we play? Like, he doesn't ask directly. How can we open this package is what he'll say. So because we're not doing any actual Christmas shopping outside the house, all the Christmas gifts have been delivered. And Daniel finally realized, we finagled this whole thing where there's a sign that says, please put the packages behind this door. And then there's another sign and then an arrow. And then we put out some snacks and some waters. And we're like, please take some snacks and waters. Thank you. We didn't actually say have a blessed day, but that was the message because we're asking them to go on a wild goose chase.
Yeah, it's like a series of notes that lead you further to more notes. You should put out a joke bear trap at the end.
Oh yeah.
Just fun it up.
It's an escape room that ends up in them leaving the packages. This is actually working for us, but it's convoluted and complicated. Do you have this situation at all with your kids?
No. That's my hot take. No.
So they're not
I feel like
obsessed.
I was at a congressional hearing. No. No one
Ms.
can,
Molyneux.
on the podcast, no one can see how serious my face was. It was like an audition for an Aaron Sorkin movie. How good my acting was. No.
I'm going to make this a congressional. Ms. Molyneux.
Yes.
Am I reading correctly here in my notes? It says that your 4 children who vary in age from 1 to 10 or 11?
10
have no interest in packages that come to the door.
That's correct.
Has this always been the case?
Yes. And then the court goes nuts. That was the big reveal. Everyone just jumped out of their fucking seat like that was the secret. And now the case is going to get thrown out.
I yield my time. Wait, so they've never had interest in it?
No, I don't know why. They don't care. They don't.
That's good. That's good because we, at the beginning, we were just bringing packages in and then saying to Elliot it's Christmas presents. We have to wait. And then the idea of expecting a 3-year-old to wait, it's just, we've had to lean a little more heavily into the Santa Claus thing, even though I'm torn about really going on record and lying to him. What do you guys do, Santa Claus? How do you feel about it?
Yes, we do.
Oh,
reclaiming my time.
Reclaiming my time.
To say, you claimed earlier you'd never lied. Now here you're saying you do Santa Claus.
Yes, we do. I personally believe in Santa Claus. So,
so you have, in your heart of hearts, you have never lied.
I have not lied. You're gonna get so many Patreon first timers who want to see this acting face for Aaron Sorkin.
Yes.
Sorkin's probably going to do a Patreon. so that he can
Patreon.com.
see this audition for his next movie.
Patreon.com/Alison Rose and Aaron Sorkin. Sign up to see Wendy's poker face.
Molly's
Senator Huntsberger from Nevada.
Yes, go ahead.
Are you still questioning Ms. Molyneux?
Of course I am. I don't believe for a second that she believes in Santa Claus. I think she's lied to us. I think she chose to lie to her children.
Ms. Molyneux, do you have a comment?
That wasn't a question.
Oh.
That was a statement.
Yeah, yes
you
or
phrase
no?
it as a
Yes,
question?
yes or no? You're an adult, grown human woman, and yes or no? When you hear little pitter patters on your roof, you think a mythical man is climbing up there with reindeer about to come down your chimney? Yes or no?
I do.
That was not a yes or a no, and there is no way.
It was.
There is no way that you believe that. You expect us to sit here and believe you think that you leave out cookies and expect a grown man to magically come down your chimney, get no soot on his red and white suit, and eat those cookies?
Yes.
I mean, if this sort of acting isn't going to be cast, it's really one of the great wastes of American cinema.
No, he should remake that Chicago 7, but with women. Chicago 7 women.
Oh yeah, Chicago Santa.
Oh,
Wendy-
Chicago Santa. Yeah, an Aaron Sorkin movie about whether Santa is real. That would he'd get me back with that one. He lost
Wendy,
me with Molly's game, but he'd get me back.
I can send you this video and you can put it on your reel.
Oh, great. I can't wait to update my reel. I have this and some Ring video of me at my own door. Maybe. Those will be my 2 videos.
Oh my God. Imagine if you just did insert a little bit of Ring video into an acting reel.
That would get my attention.
That's right. It would get mine as well. Dave, how is your baby?
Oh, good. Healthy, happy little smiley guy.
Aww.
Had a really great sleep last night. Now I'm prepared for like parenting get-togethers, which really make me tune out. But now I can be like, oh yeah, we had an 8-hour sleep one night. It was about but yeah, it was pretty great. Yeah, we're good. Nothing exciting. Standard baby stuff.
Do you feel like you're bonding more with him?
Yeah. I'm getting some smiles that I'm figuring out how to coax them out of him. That's fun. And then he had his first fright. I got home and our dog was really excited. I know. I didn't see it. Well, I guess we both saw it coming and then we kind of ignored it. The dog ran over, was really excited, and I was petting him. And then he ran over to get a toy and he ran right toward the baby. And then stopped, of course, and grabbed his toy and came running back. And then we kind of stared for a second like, you good? I mean, he's on the floor doing some tummy time. These giant feet come running toward him, grabs his toy, run away. And then he's just kind of smiling. And we're like, yeah, that's great. They say like you have like 3 inherent fears: loud noises, falling from heights, and I don't know, wolf teeth or something. And then... so this seemed like,
Correct.
oh, we didn't respond. He must not be scared. This is a fear that we could teach him. And so we turned away. That's how much time had elapsed. 2 or 3 full seconds. And then there was just like a real big, I know. It was really, those moments are really hard to deal with. They just feel, like everyone that has a child just signed up for a lifetime of like, oh God.
Yeah.
It's rough.
I know. I remember having Elliot, because it is a phase where loud noises or I think they're always sort of there's always the potential to be afraid of a loud noise or like something overly stimulating like that. But especially at certain ages, it's more pronounced. And so we were right in the height of this, and I had Elliot with me in a bathroom in like Nordstrom or something. This is obviously a long time ago. He was a baby, and I flushed. It was in a public restroom where when you flush the toilet, it sounds like, an airplane taking off. And he was like devastated by that, like screamed. I felt really bad. Really,
Yeah.
really, really bad.
Ugh, it's just a weird feeling to be so helpless and like, I don't know.
Yeah.
That's how they get you though, too. You develop these bonds because you're like, I'll save you, little human. I'm here for you. And that feels good. You do feel like really like you can protect something.
Yes.
So that's nice.
But you feel like that's them getting you? Manipulating you?
No, yeah, I don't know what I meant by that. I just feel like you don't have a lot of behaviors. They don't lend you their car for the weekend. They don't really, they don't scratch your back. They don't really do anything for you other than look cute. And so that's one of the few things where like there can be a non-zero interaction or a zero sum in that like they have a negative and you're like, hang on, I got some positive. I got some love here for you to even it out. So I think that's what I meant.
Right. Well, I remember so I had a real hard time breastfeeding with both of my kids. Like I couldn't make milk, and I had pretty intense postpartum depression after Elliot. And that's when I got back into therapy with the therapist who I'm with currently. But she was saying that like one of the ways that new mothers feel confident as a mother is to be able to feed their baby.
Yeah,
So it's
I can see
like,
that.
I know what you mean. Like you sort of, that is at the heart of the bond with your baby, is to be able to care for them, to be able to nurture them, to console them after you've unleashed your dog on them.
Maybe
Yeah.
take him to a haunted house.
Yeah.
By the time you get out of there, that bond will be incredible.
That's true.
Yeah.
And that chainsaw guy chases you and he's in his little snuggly but screaming. And you're like, it's okay.
I'm sprinting, holding him in front of me. Like, look at
Sprinting.
my face. Look at my face. Remember
Yeah.
this. I got your back. I'm here for you.
It's the girl from the ring. Like he won't get some of it, but he'll pick up
Yeah.
the vibe. I think he'll pick up the vibe.
Yeah. I'll do some testing too where I'll get so scared I'll set him down on a ledge and I'll sprint 40 feet or so and then I'll come back and whew, I wouldn't forget you, buddy. And then boom, now he knows like even in the most difficult of circumstances, I got his back.
Yeah. Great plan.
Thank you.
I remember I always, growing up, prided myself on being very protective of my younger sister, who's like 4 years younger than I am. In fact, Wendy probably, because this was not very protective of me, but when I was in college, she would come and stay the weekend and she was exposed to so many things way too young. Like she and I probably tried pot and drank I had already drank by the time I had already done both things by the time I got to college. But anyway, I'm just saying she was going to college parties too young. However, I like to think I was protective of her. But I remember in New York, we were crossing the street and maybe we didn't have enough time. I don't know what happened, but I just remember I suddenly got scared and like took off as fast as I could and left her in the middle of the street. And I thought, well, it turns out when push comes to shove, I'm not that protective, like at all. She's okay though. So listen, I need to ask you guys a question. I was reading 'Twas the Night Before Christmas last night, and it refers to a miniature sleigh and 8 tiny reindeer. And it got me thinking, and Tony might know since he hosted a Christmas podcast and is clearly into Christmas, and up until 25 minutes ago had the most Christmassy background, but then got trumped by these two. But how big is Santa Claus?
Hounds.
What'd you say?
Oh, yeah. Oh, just a couple Christmas hounds. Just outdid him.
Couple amateur
I am
Kris
a Christmas
Kringles.
hound. I do love Christmas.
Clearly.
I do too. You wouldn't
Love
know
it.
from my background.
No.
So anyway, yeah. How is Santa small? Is he also an elf?
What?
They refer to him as a jolly old elf.
In spirit.
No, I'm
Sorry,
talking about
Tony.
in
Tony,
physicality.
Tony, did
Yeah.
you want to take? Tony should take this one. But
Yeah,
I just
I
had an
mean-
emotional reaction.
Think of how many Christmas movies and everything we've seen over the years, even Christmas decoration, anything with Santa. When has he ever been tiny?
Great point,
Counterpoint,
great point,
counselor,
Tony.
if I could. Well, I hear what you're saying, counselor, but also think of how many churches you've been in and Jesus is white. So, case closed.
Boom. Mic drop.
Yeah. I've
Well,
exited the room.
I like Christmas. I'm not a fan of religion, so I'm not hearing this argument.
They're both so
Yeah.
similar to me. We got
No, religion is terrible and lies to you. Religion lies to you at every turn. Christmas, everything about it is great.
And just lies to you
Including
once
Santa
a year.
being a plus-size fella.
Right. But is he plus size or just plus size proportionally, and yet he's a tiny little man? I'm just saying, in 'Twas the Night Before Christmas, why is the sleigh miniature? Why are the reindeer tiny? Like,
Was
we
it
know
a
how
rhyme
big.
line? Was it a rhyme line? Were they going for a rhyme? And so he said that jolly old elf because they needed a rhyme, and he had like tried for a while, and then he was like, I'll just say he's an elf. Does it rhyme with like shelf or something?
I don't know. I can't remember.
Well, I'm going to
where
look it
in-
up right now because I think
Okay.
this is where the whole court gets to its feet because I found a piece of evidence that's
Okay.
It was the
Undeniable.
year they were on the shelf, and in came Mindy, jolly old elf. I
I'm
don't
gonna look
think shelf
too.
is a real common Christmas lyric. That's just a
It's
hunch.
not a song, David. It's a poem. Jesus, Tony, should we have our own Zoom?
I think we probably should.
No one knows anything about Christmas except us.
'Twas the night before Christmas and all through the house. That one?
Yes.
That's
You
not
can
a song.
sing it.
You
Everything
can
is a
sing whatever
song if you want it
can
to be.
sing. Two
So-
roads diverge in the woods, and I took the one less traveled by. It doesn't make that
Yes.
poem a song.
Sure, it does. You can sing
it
anything.
doesn't.
Okay,
Yeah.
Yes.
I have found the line.
Okay.
Okay, great.
It says,
Wait,
It-
but Wendy's been working at it for like 10
It
minutes.
is a rhyme. It's
It
a rhyme.
is.
You won't let him talk because it is.
yeah. It starts.
What is it?
It starts
Let's
with
go.
elf because it says he was chubby and plump, a right jolly elf, and I laughed when I saw him in spite of myself.
Yeah. The poet wanted to center himself and say myself in it. And then he like tried to retrofit that onto the first line. Couldn't do it. He came up with elf for Santa, which is a fucking lie.
So you have to read this with like a pipe. You can't sing it. You can't add any merriment to
Oh,
this thing
you
about a
don't-
jolly fellow and elves.
So I looked up the history of this because I was like, what is going on? And apparently a lot of recording artists did record it.
Oh, interesting.
So it can be, but to Wendy's point, it still is a poem. Tony, can you find the line with the 8 tiny reindeer? Does that
So when-
also rhyme?
When you guys open like a record or a CD case and see the lyrics written out to songs, you go, hey, these can't be written. This is a song, not a poem.
I'm on your side. Cause you think shuffling cards is cool, just like I do.
Well, I don't know if I'd go that far.
All right, fine. Then I'm not on your side anymore. You're now an enemy of the show.
Ah, dang it. Thought I was making some good points.
What a day for me.
I just think, in spite of myself, to me, that's the retrofit. That's the one that got tacked on to rhyme with elf. And I hear where Tony's coming from. Think of all the Santa Claus. Oh my God, I literally can't think of any more Santa Claus movies. But there's been a
Elf.
lot.
Yeah.
Santa
Elf.
Claus, Miracle on 34th Street.
Yes.
What else do we have?
Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Rudolph the
I mean,
Red-Nosed
that's-
Reindeer. There's
Yeah.
those weird little ones from the 70s, with
Yeah.
the songs, Day Without a Santa, Year Without a Santa.
Yeah. Frosty the Snowman, I think he's in.
He's got
So, he's normal size in all of those, but I'm just saying back when 'Twas the Night Before Christmas started, which I think, according to my Wikipedia research, that kind of set our American version of Santa Claus in motion. Was he supposed to be Smurf size? No one talks about it, but I think maybe he was. My tweet needs to go viral. It's important.
Oh,
I
you-
tweeted
this-
about it.
Oh, what's the tweet?
Well, it's going to sound a lot like what I said. And by the way, it's not going viral. I don't have what it takes to go viral, and that's fine. I'm not a viral kind of person. I'm it's quality over quantity. Let's see. Let me find this important, super important.
Wouldn't that be
tweet.
quantity over quality? Like you tweet a lot, but it's the
Oh, yeah.
quality isn't there to go viral.
Well, in that regard, in
I also
terms
don't
of how
go viral, so I'm not criticizing.
it's like
but-
this. In terms of how the world sees me, it's quantity over quality. But in terms of how I see the people who appreciate my tweets, it's quality over quantity.
I refuse to answer the question.
It just sounds like you're a baseball player that really gets in there and swings a lot, but maybe doesn't hit a lot of home runs, but you're like, batting a pretty high average.
Well, I don't understand sports, but that does sound like me. Okay. Here's my tweet. How big is Santa Claus? Because 'twas the night before Christmas refers to a miniature sleigh and 8 tiny reindeer. And how small are the reindeer?
Yeah.
Let me throw this at you. Maybe the person that wrote "'Twas the Night Before Christmas" was fucking huge.
Clement Moore? I don't think so.
I mean, you're naysaying that pretty quickly without giving it any serious thought.
He could have been a giant, is what you're getting at.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you,
Maybe
Wendy.
he took liberties, though, with like Mariah Carey's song that we think is Christmas came out in our lifetimes. But yet the mythology and the history of Christmas, you're like, well, that was established. You can't add more to it. But like Tony, you could write a book on Santa and it seemingly make up as many facts as you wanted and just add to that legend, really.
It's true. I know I don't know if this is a fact everybody knows or not. I think it is. That, like kind of the Santa Claus that we all picture came from Coca-Cola.
Okay. Question about that, because in some of the responses to my non-viral tweet, people were saying that yes, he was an elf, and then it got like Coca-Cola, was wrong. But what did they? Where is this depiction of Santa from Coca-Cola?
They did used to have those like plates and stuff, the marketing stuff, right,
yeah.
Tony? I remember my friend's mom had a bunch of, not Brent Mitchell, a different friend. I had more than one friend.
Was this Brent Mitchell?
It wasn't Brent Mitchell, different friends. Still friends with Brent to this day, by the way. That nog created quite a bond. But yeah, it was on Coca-Cola. I remember like tin plates and cookie tins and stuff they did for marketing would have Santa on it, and she collected it. And I remember them having a lot of that stuff.
I feel like I've never seen this.
You have.
Dave?
You have.
You?
You've seen it. Like if you Google it and like you'll see some of these images and you'll go like, oh, this stuff. Yeah, I've seen this.
Okay, here's what I'm picturing, but it might be a Super Bowl ad. I'm picturing like a especially chubby-cheeked, rosy-cheeked Santa in the snow, like a windstorm and a polar bear. Is that what it is?
That's a recent one.
Yeah, the polar bears were
those are
late
recent
90s, maybe?
All right, fine. I will Google this. Dave, I wanted to know your take on something, and I don't know what it was. Do you recall where I was headed?
I think I don't. But I
damn it.
I think we're on the track to create our own lore about Santa, and everyone's in the same way that someone that's like really into the Bible is always trying to like connect those dots of like, wait, how could he be his own son? But then he killed, and then how the virgin, and then like frankincense and myrrh, and born in a barn, and it was cold. It was like December, like trying to make sense of being in a whale and all these things and all the animals on the ark. And some people will try to like make all that make sense. And if you try to do that with Santa Claus, you probably run into some of the same issues. But we, especially if we wrote a very serious poem, could tie up a lot of those loose ends where maybe he's this sort of amorphous mythical creature that his gifts shrink in size with him. Maybe he's even kind of an asexual being.
People would love that for their kids.
I think they'd enjoy
Here
it.
is Santa, an asexual being.
Right.
First
amorphous.
page.
Yeah. He's asexual. Because you don't want to think of Santa like taking off his sweaty, gross robe and going over by the fire and pawing at Mrs. Claus.
Yeah, we could make a new poem. It could be like, here is a brand new text for you all. First of all, Santa Claus is asexual.
Yep.
That's the first 2 lines of the poem. We're done already. You could sing it. You could write it down. It's just a class. You can feel the classic nature of the poem for children through the ages who are asking mom and dad, what is Santa like in terms of sex? Like, fuck.
Right.
And then they say he's asexual.
Yeah.
It's just a really easy way to answer the question everyone asks first about Santa.
Yeah.
Is like, what's he into? And it's nothing. What about Mrs. Claus then? Is she just like a companion, a nice companion?
Right.
She's
Good
his
question.
equal. She's like a familiar, almost like
But
a
you can
shadow.
be someone's equal and still have a sexual relationship.
No, I mean they are like two like single cell organisms that paired off. They're both
okay.
kind of amoeba-like and amorphous, and like both go down chimneys. That's how they cover all the ground. They just refer to each other as Mr. and Mrs. But if you saw them, they would look identical.
Oh, so they actually lack sex organs.
Right.
Oh,
What do they
smooth.
have down there? Like, are they like Barbies?
They're smooth, but then in mating season, like in reproduction
I feel like
season,
Tony did some really sad blinks, right? When he said they're smooth, but Tony's eyes just went with the sadness that I've never seen Tony feel.
They fluttered.
Yeah. Sorry, go on.
I didn't
well, there's
realize.
like a bulb that originates in what we would consider a traditional crotch region, and that's what kind of emerges into the second because they have a husk.
Oh, so they sprout.
They sprout, and then that maybe takes like 2 seasons, I think, of gift giving, and then it turns into a Santa, and then the other ones die off. So it's a quick turnover, but that's how they stay so jolly and endless energy.
Wow. So Wendy, are you still there?
Oh no.
What happened?
I just, for those listening and not watching, but you should subscribe to Patreon. But I just typed I object as my new Zoom name and disappeared because I object to what David's doing.
Well,
On behalf of Tony, who I think is quite upset.
so
then-
you want a traditional cisgendered genital having man?
No. I think Santa can be whatever kind of freak he wants.
But he has a penis.
So you're saying because
No, I'm saying I just don't agree that with David's taxonomy that Santa and Mrs. Claus are smooth and asexual and don't care about each other because they live together.
they love each other.
They love each other. Okay. I thought
Yeah.
you were just saying like there's nothing there. And I just felt sad for Mrs. Claus because she gets nothing at all, no glory.
Right.
And then
No.
on top of that, her companion isn't interested in her, nothing to do in that department. She's just sitting around all the time.
Oh, that's why you would love my story.
Dare you
She is
suggest
him.
I need a cisgender Santa?
Well, you
Do you not know
objected
me at
to
all?
mine. Mine's
I
a
just
love-
object to your. I wasn't even really listening, to tell you the truth. I just wanted to write I object on the screen.
So
I just thought it would
Wendy,
be fun for me.
but Wendy, you're down with Santa being asexual, right? This is your idea for how to teach children about Santa's
no, that was
sexuality.
David proposed that Santa was asexual.
But you were on board with it. Are you?
I liked the poem. I liked the rhyme
Okay.
aspect of
So
it.
are you still on board with it?
Yes.
with him
you know
being
what?
asexual?
For whatever it's worth, I am on board with Santa being asexual.
Okay. But you don't like the smooth, like paramecium situation of reproduction. I just want to say paramecium. Do you think that they have standard sex organs? That might not even be a woke thing to say. Do you think there's a penis and a vagina going on?
Both on Santa or separate?
Separate.
Like for Mrs. Claus and Santa? Like one has
Like-
a vagina? I don't
and one has
care.
a penis.
I just want them to be happy.
That's what matters.
You know?
Okay. All right.
That's what matters. Whether they're smooth or they got some business down there.
Yeah.
I just want
See,
them to be
and-
happy with their choices and how they're feeling and being together. Does that work for them after all these years? You know?
Yeah.
Right. And it's interesting if you think about it. So Christmas Eve, which is a pretty special, if you're a Christmas hound like all four of us, it's a pretty special holiday, Christmas Eve, only trumped by Christmas Day. But Mrs. Claus is alone on Christmas Eve, although maybe she appreciates the alone time.
And that's why I like my poem in that she is a Santa. A Santa is an organism, and they proliferate the globe, dropping off gifts to boys and girls that have been good and not given coal. And the coal is really a reminder. That was like a practical joke years ago, I feel like. And then it got taken like, oh, all the kids get coal? Like, no, there was this kid that thought he liked coal a lot, wanted to get into it, but he was horrible that year. And so they gave him a lump of coal like, look, you're really not going to like this. It gets all over you. It's gross. And then everyone just thought, oh, every bad kid gets coal. But my story is that it makes sense of the magic. And they, yes, of course, love each other, but they both get to be out working on Christmas Eve. And
So
then
she
Christmas Day.
delivers
Yeah, she is a
Presents too.
Santa. Right.
Oh, okay.
So they're both
So the
Santas.
second line of the poem would be like, Mrs. Santa loves Christmas Eve. She delivers presents without a care because both she and Santa are smooth down there.
Right.
That would be
Yeah,
a good
Love it.
second line. Is like, first we find out what Santa's into, and then we find out they're both smooth. So then we're like not worried about Mrs. Santa, that she got into the relationship thinking he was interested. She's
Yeah.
also asexual and smooth.
Yeah, some of the stories I think that are just blasphemous are that she was like this single lady and then she got dragged into like, I lead kind of a weird life. And next thing you know, she's at the North Pole, lonely as hell, hanging out with these elves that really don't connect with her at all. And she's like knitting on Christmas Eve. Not in this world. She's out there mixing it up, making it happen. And so future generations could sit around with a pipe, of course, and a book. And here's some text for you all. Or no, text you all. Santa is asexual. And before you go, now you don't scare, because of course both of them are smooth down there. You'd be reading this poem and the kids are
But to
just
be clear, you don't, being asexual and being smooth are two totally different things. You could have any type of genitals and be
Yeah.
asexual.
right.
Right. And then
there- go ahead.
you don't
Alison,
have to yell, you don't have to shout to make more Santas, they just sprout.
right.
From
Yeah.
a bulb in their crotch area.
During mating season. And now you know that is the reason.
You
You
changed
get
up the
gifts.
rhyme scheme, but that's fine. We
I
can,
think
we can
I
work on
changed
it. This
it.
is just a workshop
Yeah.
experience.
Yeah.
Wendy and I took a class called Modern Poetry.
I thought you were going to say Modern Santa.
Wendy and I took a class called Modern
we
Santa.
absolutely didn't take that.
We took Modern Santa, and it was representations of Santas from 1960 to now. No, 1950 to now. And it was really, really eye-opening in terms of our conception of Santa, wouldn't you say, Wendy?
Mm-hmm.
I did not pass with honors, though. I just passed, and I was very angry.
Yeah.
I made a list of Santa
It was
texts.
too early in the morning,
Yes.
like most college classes.
So
This has been a perfect Santa discussion.
this has really been good. If someone's listening with their children, to them I
Yeah,
say,
you
I'm
need to
so
put
sorry.
a warning on this one. Because discussion of Santa as theoretical or not may affect certain children. So
I
you
know.
have to put a warning on it.
Like a Santa label.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to make a note of that. Okay. Santa warning. And also a warning to potential Santas who might listen who aren't yet comfortable with their sexuality.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Be what it may. So I just want to let everyone know that I have spent so much time putting together my Amazon storefront. I am a verified Amazon influencer, which I didn't even know was a thing. I've been acting normal. I haven't been tooting my own horn, Wendy, David, Tony, but you didn't know you're in the presence of someone who's verified on Amazon.
Oh no,
didn't know that was a thing.
I knew. You've talked
Oh, yeah,
about
well-
it plenty.
Tony knew, but Tony, whose side are you on? Tony knew, but you can actually follow me on Amazon and then find out when I review things. I'm unclear about this aspect of it, but basically, if you want to find out the products I recommend for beauty, the gear I use for podcasting, baby stuff, kids stuff, home stuff, food and drink stuff. But, and Tony does know this because I did mention it on the most recent Monday show, which is a show with Daniel where we take your calls and talk about all sorts of stuff. I made Daniel's Corner, and that's like you can click into Daniel's Corner and you can see the stuff that Daniel uses. And I keep saying to Daniel, you gotta tell me stuff to put in here. And he keeps claiming he doesn't have enough time. So I said, fine, I'm going to put my own stuff, like my own stuff that I know that he uses. So anyway, if you'd like to see what I think of Daniel, what I think he uses, and these are things he actually uses, go there, Amazon.com/shop/Alison Rosen. You can see that Daniel uses Excedrin, nasal saline gel, Breathe Right strips, Beano. What
Poor
other?
Daniel.
I know.
He's having a hard time.
But there's also cool stuff like slippers,
Slippers.
It doesn't get any cooler than that.
He scuffles over the cabinet to get his Beano.
He likes these special kind of smart lights, Philips smart lights.
I'm going to turn on the light now.
The thermostat.
Excedrin.
You'll hear me coming. I haven't had my Beano.
Shuffle.
He likes a special kind of thermostat that we have.
Gotta turn the thermostat down.
No, I'm not 81. I'm a middle-aged man.
Slippers on yet.
His
Kind
favorite,
of cold in here.
his favorite sleep mask.
Oh, I wish I could sleep. Put on my
sorry,
breathe strips and my mask. Just try to forget where I am or who I am.
Until he makes time for this, I am only going to keep adding to his store. And he truly uses all of these items.
I believe
I'm not making this up.
I believe you. All of these are very normal things to use
I know.
at the end of one's life. Where you shuffle off his mortal coil.
He has like a like family size pack of Band-Aids. I might add that. I mean, he has so many Band-Aids that are taking up so much space on our bathroom counter. I think that I'm going to link those. Amazon.com/shop/Alison Rosen. And now an update, which maybe I should have started with, but it leads to a discussion of sad stuff, even though it has a happy aspect to it. So you guys don't know this probably, but I mentioned that our beloved nanny, was in the hospital with COVID.
Oh my God.
Yes, and I was very scared.
Holy shit.
But she's been discharged, so I am so relieved to hear that. She's now, her sister took her to Texas because she needs that kind of attention, and I've been communicating with her other sister, and her other sister works, so like can't give her that. And I have so many questions. Like I'm unclear sort of what the care that she requires right now is, but it sounds pretty fucking intense if she's many states away where someone can take care of her. But I'm just so relieved that she's out of the hospital because I was, super worried since I didn't, again, like I still haven't talked to her. It's been weeks. But to anyone out there who thinks that this is not affecting people and is not real, wake up.
Was she one of those people? Or what was her protocol?
No. She wasn't. I don't know. She told me she had surgery. So I knew she was going to be out for a few weeks. And then I don't know when she got it. I think she was staying with a family member a few hours away. And somehow I think she was staying with this family member because they were going to take care of her after the surgery. And I think that somehow in the recovery afterwards, she got it. I don't know. Of course, I wonder, like, could she have gotten it while she was at the hospital? Except that I think that there's like really stringent testing before you have. I don't know. It's so scary right now. Like the numbers in LA, I don't know what you guys have read, but I read like 1 in 20. Then I read 1 in 8, which that sounds higher than it is.
1 in 20 have had it over time now.
Okay.
I think it's 1 in 80, but constantly increasing that currently have it. So
that's what
it
I
might be
heard
down
too.
to 1 in 70 this week or something like that. But if you think about it on an average outing, you're going to see that many people if you go somewhere public.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fucking real, man.
Yeah. Do you guys know anyone?
Yeah.
Are they okay?
Yeah. My friend and his boyfriend have it. They are young, and so they've had a mild course. As far as I know, I haven't checked in with him in the last couple of days, but they are having a mild course. But they're frustrated and angry because they always wore their masks. But when they went grocery shopping and stuff, they did encounter people who were not wearing masks, and that's probably how they got it.
That scares the shit out of me.
Yeah. So anyone who can stay home, even just should stay home because you can be a vector for somebody else, like, I don't know. I'm 45, so I'm staying home. Like I could easily get it and pass it. I feel like so
they think they got it from being out with their mask on around people who didn't have masks.
I think so. I think that's their working theory because they personally wear masks everywhere they go. So, yeah. Because the masks are more to stop you from spreading it than to stop you from getting it. And so it would be somebody without a mask that breathed on or near them. But luckily they're fine. But then Jeff's friend in Kansas City had it. He's better. His son had it. But it's circling. Like we know way more people now, just anecdotally even, that have it right now. Like friends of friends, like you're saying, like your nanny and other people's either friends or employees that have it now.
Yeah, I knew the numbers were rising, and I still didn't have any personal connection. I only I know someone who someone close to them had it, you know, like a lot of that. But yeah, and also I hadn't heard from her, and I thought she was ghosting us, and I thought maybe she had taken another job. I had all these like if you guys had been on the show during the time where I was perseverating, trying to figure out where she was and why I wasn't hearing from her. I was like, she joined a cult. She met a guy. She took another job. I had has she become addicted to drugs? It seems out of character, but I don't know. And it's like, when I found out, it's like, that's kind of the most obvious thing. Like, of course it was that.
Right.
But it's just too upsetting to think about. I don't know.
Well, hopefully she'll recover. So she probably has like long COVID then, right? The one that just kind of goes on and on. That's
my suspicion that she, I don't know. I don't know if there are people who are released from the hospital, who had it so bad they had to go to the hospital, then are released from the hospital and then make like a rapid full recovery. I don't think so. I think it's a long road back.
I think that's probably right.
And now in lighter news, an important question. Do you guys have a headboard? Do you have like a bed that has a head and a footboard? What kind of sleeping situation do you have? Because I have been on this earth for many years, and yet I just have, and I know people have judgments about this. I have a mattress on a box spring, and there's like one of those stupid metal frames, but no frippery, nothing fancy. And it's time to get a headboard like a real adult.
We have one I think we got it just from West Elm, like a, mid-century looking bed with a headboard. Yeah.
But does it have like a whole bed frame? Like, is it like a platform? Okay.
It's a platform with a headboard. It wasn't that expensive.
Maybe I need to get one of those.
Yeah. I want to get my hands on your house. Have I ever told you that? I want to redecorate your house.
You do?
Yeah.
I don't know if anyone wants to hear that.
No, I'm fine with it.
Hey, I've been in your house and I've been thinking I would change a lot.
No, because I'm almost done. No, I don't want to change anything. I want to like buy you furniture and put stuff on your walls.
Could you?
So you don't have that much stuff on your walls, right? If I recall correctly, that's
we have
what
like
I'm saying.
nothing.
I love to buy like pictures and shit and like put it up. And I'm almost done with my house. And so I think I fantasize about getting my hands on Alison's house and buying her a lot of pictures. Because once you've filled up your house, you're done. Can't put that energy anywhere else. So I want to get my hands on Alison's walls.
Bring it to, do you also have an urge to choose a chandelier for us?
Yes.
Please.
Yes.
Because I'm
do
terrible.
A whole look for you.
I would love a new look. Courtesy of Wendy.
I'm saying you don't have a headboard. That's making me feel like now I can finally tell you that I've wanted to get my hands on your house.
I should have mentioned this ages ago because I am welcome. That's not really English. You are welcome to, and I am open to the Molyneux home treatment.
Who you really want is my sisters Lizzie and Maggie. They're the ones with the gift. They are bona fide gifted at interior design.
I've seen pictures of Lizzie's house. It's amazing.
It's she could do it as a job if she didn't already have a job where she works with me and she's not allowed to have another job.
But I assume some things, but I'll take this Molyneux if I can't get those other ones.
You just don't have a lot of stuff on your walls, and I'm always like, I want to get her some stuff for her walls. That's all.
Start with the chandelier.
It's not a criticism. David, I feel like, was going down that path. That's not where I was going with that. You're just
the phrasing. The phrasing was delicate.
Yeah.
I've been watching a lot of reality TV lately because that's just a statement on how things are going for me. And David, I think you're trying to stir the shit.
Ooh,
you're just like,
I probably was.
I'm just innocent here. And then there you are, like kicking up stuff. Like, I have to tell you, I was at the bar yesterday and Katie said this, you know.
Yeah, I was.
Yeah.
And then you just.
That's fair, though. That's what we all do, right?
Yeah.
I got to be honest.
You
I had
wanted
the same
hot
thought
takes.
David had.
Yeah.
Oh, that
What's
it was,
that?
I was being rude.
I mean,
Now
I didn't
you're
really
stirring the
think
shit.
you were being rude, but like I kind of had that same mindset of like, yeah, that's not, you know, you don't. It's not necessarily something you want to hear. But I
Wendy-
understood how you were saying it, though.
I felt like she was opening the door by saying she didn't have a headboard, though. It's just like, I don't think it's like, is it an interest of yours to populate your walls with photographs and stuff, Allison?
But this jump, if we could just stay on that a second.
You guys are gonna make me and Allison have a fight.
Yeah, because essentially what she said was like, if you guys ever had a zit and then you came in with like, you should wear more makeup.
No!
That it just feels similar to that.
Okay. But I have a problem. I really do like to buy stuff for homes. And I've noticed that Allison doesn't have a lot of wall hangings. And I thought when I was there, I would like to buy Allison her wall hangings. I wish she would turn it over to me and let me do it.
It is turned over. And what they don't know. What they don't know.
Let you do that?
No, I've never offered before.
I'm telling you, I'm so down for this. You don't understand. Daniel's mom was just here. And Tony's also heard this because this came up on the Monday show as well. But let's see. I've been with Daniel for, God, almost 10 years. And ever since I've known her, she's always said like she loves organizing, she loves cleaning, she loves da 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 da. And I've always been like, okay, I don't feel comfortable taking you up on that. And then something changed a few years ago where, anyway, long story short, she bought us a spice rack and like an organization thing for our kitchen. She like found, I mean, everything is so, it's like 1,000 times homier now that she's blown through here. And I am super into it because I don't know how to do any of that. So Wendy, yes.
When this
Leave
is
your mark.
over, I'm going to come over and we're going to do it.
Wendy was practically my realtor. This is what you guys don't know because Wendy is also, are you still in your spare time practically a realtor?
No, I don't have any time now because of children and COVID and jobs.
Right. Well, before
Although that's
that,
not exactly true. I've been sending my friend Annabelle all kinds of listings right near us because our kids are like very close and we moved out of the neighborhood, which we're only a few miles away. And yet it would be so great if we could still walk to each other's houses. So I've been sending her listings from our neighborhood, which she wants, by the way. She wants to move somewhere. So
when Daniel and I were looking for our house, Wendy would send us all sorts of listings. So therefore she has a relation, even though she didn't find this specific house. But
I just really like the idea of you give her her own key, and then
yeah, I would love
you just
that.
never know. You come home one day,
Great.
and then she's like putting her purse over her shoulder, like, well, and just no words spoken, just leaves, and then you guys wander through the house and come into a room and go, oh, and then you're always pleasantly, hopefully surprised, but and a little baffled at times.
Yeah, like, oh, why did she think we would like clowns like that?
Yeah. I think that'd be a lot of fun.
I mean, I would trust her. Look at those Christmas decorations.
I know.
Yeah.
I love your tree and the stockings.
Gorgeous, right?
Yeah.
It's really mine.
There's so
I'm trying
much.
to disappear and I can't disappear into my Zoom background.
All right. So Wendy has a mid-century platform bed. David and Tony, how do you sleep?
Beanbags. Yeah, people really poo-pooed them, but they're great. Just a collection of them, and then you just put a sheet over. You can always jump into them. It's fun.
You never fall through the bean bags and boom, hit the floor?
They're really jammed in there together, and it's a fitted sheet that kind of keeps them all bunched, which is really nice.
Smart.
Yeah. And then so to make the bed, you take the fitted sheet off. You just kind of kick them. You flip them over a little bit, put the sheet back on. It's a delight.
Well, that makes my situation seem very adult, I'd have to say. No offense.
And
No
luxurious.
problem. When I used to build forts, I always thought, like, I'm never not going to remember this feeling, the whimsy. So I still try to live with a lot of, like, adolescent whimsy.
Yeah.
How I sleep, things like that.
You guys always talk to each other on cans with string, right? You and your partner, you just
Correct.
go like, hey, how's it going over there in the beanbags? And then she's like, I'm in the kitchen making a waffle.
Yeah. It works great. I mean, it works great. And people, want to have really high-end intercom systems and things like that. Unnecessary. The cans do the trick.
Yeah.
Tony, what about you?
I do not have anything really. It's similar to yours, Allison. Like where it's just
We're bed
it's just
buddies.
a bed, no headboard. Because also my bed is like right at the window, and I feel like the headboard then kind of screws that up. I feel like, yeah. The only interesting thing about my bed is I have it on risers, and
What?
because I actually this is 100% true.
Go
Under
ahead,
my-
caller. You're on interesting bed talk. Go ahead.
That's right. I have under my bed nothing but Christmas decorations.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So it's good. I like having it on the risers for some storage.
What are bed risers?
They're literally just these like little
Cinder blocks?
I mean, sort of. I mean, not really, but I can't think of like what else to compare them to.
But is it like regular bed height, or
No,
is
it's a little-
it?
it's
And this
ta-
is the
it's-
kind of
it's a little
taller.
Yeah.
I
So you
just
gotta,
thought of
like,
a segment. And
interesting bed talk.
Well, no, this is not meant to be negative toward Tony. But you
Here
could
we
have a
go.
segment.
Here we
You could
go.
have a segment about things that are totally normal that you do, but you shouldn't say on a first date. I would suggest that saying you have only Christmas decorations under your bed might be one of those things. Not meant as a slight
But
in any way.
I think a lot of women
Yeah.
would like it to hear about these Christmas decorations.
And
I
my,
like
and
the
I-
segment. I
and
like
my
the seg.
cleanliness of like not cluttering up the plate. They're all neatly under the bed.
And also,
but you only
it's-
need them once a year.
Yes.
Well, where else are
Well,
they gonna
that
go?
makes me normal then, I would guess, too.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, I guess you don't want to be going under your bed all the time. Yeah, that makes pretty good sense.
Well, I was more thinking didn't have the Christmas decorations up all the time.
I was thinking more like if you had like blankets or pillows under there, it's accessible. But yeah, you don't want to be digging.
I think if you said like I have my bed on risers because they're just boxes and boxes of hair under there. Yes, that is an absolute no. And also you shouldn't say it on a first date or any date or have them. So
Right.
that would be bad. But
Yeah, that doesn't
Christmas
fit the
decorations,
segment.
that's so whimsical. That's like saying
It's-
like I actually have like I don't know. It's very whimsical
And also,
fun.
let's
And
note
sweet.
that David wants to keep blankets and pillows under his bed. I tend to keep those on the bed. I don't know about you guys.
They should go on the bed.
Well, you
I
have,
think
like,
he means
extras,
extras.
perhaps. Yeah,
It's because
Oh,
you can't put
thanks,
anything
guys.
under a beanbag. So
True.
he doesn't know what to do. He doesn't know
Yeah.
what goes under things.
Correct.
All
I
right.
didn't
So the
know the
segment.
concept under.
So the segment is things Tony shouldn't say on a first date.
No, it's me
No,
specific.
things about you that are totally normal and acceptable, but you shouldn't mention them on a first date.
It's normal things Tony says that he shouldn't say on a first date.
Not necessarily Tony, just kind of any human in general.
Anyone?
Okay.
Yeah,
Because I've got
anyone.
another fun segment, which is what's under your bed. Because this has got me thinking under my bed is a box of clothes, like a big plastic, sort of big, flattish, long plastic bin that are my quote unquote TV clothes. So back when I was going on TV a lot, but it would just be like, no, I guess most of it was like waist up, but I guess I have some below the waist TV clothes too, but it's mostly like brightly colored tops and things that I just can't get rid of because I'm like, someday I might want them again. So, and I recently dug into it when I decided I got to step it up for Zoom, and I pulled out like one thing that I wore once and that's it. And it also has some of those chicken cutlet brassiere inserts that I literally never used. That's what's under my bed. What's under your bed, Wendy?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Not a thing.
Nothing.
So
No.
a bad guy could roll under there?
Bad guy, good guy. Who knows? What if
Whoa.
a really good guy went under there? I wouldn't want to miss
Yeah.
out on that guy.
That's
Just
true.
under there waiting to come out and like be supportive of me and be like a very good friend.
And you'd be
And-
okay with that.
Yeah.
A gentleman
I'll take
springs
what I
out
can
from under
get.
your bed.
Yeah.
You have no questions.
Also,
as
it
to
could
how
be
they-
a woman. Like Jeff and I, like maybe there could be like a nice lady under the bed. It comes out, or a terrible lady. Let's not stereotype.
Let's
Could be a
say
homicidal
either
woman.
lady pops out from under your bed. You're instantly interested in their character. You don't make any prejudgments as to like, why are you in my house?
You're the one who
Why'd you
introduced
get under
the
my bed?
topic of their character by saying a bad guy.
I
under there. And I just said
automatically
don't
go
jump
to bad person.
conclusions.
Well, I will. I'd say if you're in my house under the bed, you're a bad person.
There's no bed, David. It's just beanbags. So what do you
If
know?
I was living in your situation
What do you know?
where I
You're
had
not.
room
You
under
don't know
the
my
bed.
life. You don't know my life.
Fair.
So,
That's
Yeah.
fair, but I think we can all wonder what it's like to have a bed with open space underneath.
it's great. Anybody could be under there. Pee Wee
I mean,
Herman.
The
The
sitcom
Noid could be
scenario.
under there.
The Noid.
A dentist who's going to give you free dentistry, or a killer. Sure, that's a chance. But
Yeah.
it could also just be like, a nice lady who's a singer songwriter.
But what about? I mean, you have
Mm-hmm.
endless sort of foibles and scenarios that like are played out a lot in sitcoms and movies where like you and your husband are trying to put batteries into like a TV remote, and someone has
TV remote.
they're under the
Oh,
bed. And they're hearing things like, just jam it in.
I was like,
can't-
what are
it
the
won't
batteries going into? What's happening?
fit. You have like a Roku remote or something to this effect.
Okay.
And the person is under the bed. They're a good guy. They're your dentist. And they came in to replace your retainer. They accidentally gave you someone else's. And they thought, I'll just sneak in, pop it out. And next thing you know, they hear you come up the stairs. They roll under your bed. And now they're hearing you guys go, jam it in. It won't fit. You got the wrong size. They're too big.
Yeah.
Boom. Foibles.
But that would be fine. I mean, I think they would be what you're saying is they would be mistaking a remote control conversation for a consensual sexual relationship, which is
Right.
fine.
Yeah.
Again, the kind we want Santa and Mrs. Claus to have if they wish. So I
Sure.
don't see how anyone could feel ashamed of that situation. We'd all just be feeling fine, just like Santa and Mrs. do about their clumps that they have in their crotch.
But this dentist that is
To
a good
circle back.
person, I just don't think when they popped out and said, I'm sorry, as the retainers, you'd go, you're a good person. Get out of here, you.
Really? If Wendy saw Dr. Janice Yap,
Mm-hmm.
The
Best
dentist
in Los Angeles, everyone. Honestly, go see Dr. Yap. Even we had to go during COVID and we felt quite safe.
Daniel goes to her now too.
Yeah, she's the best.
He's
this
watched
is just
movies.
a Janice Yap fan cast.
That's right. If she rolled out from under Wendy's bed, I feel like Wendy would
Oh.
be happy to see her.
I happen to know she lives near me. And I would just think like, oh, this must be some kind of mix up. I'd be super happy to see her. And I'd be like, I'll see you when the pandemic's over. Because we only went because we had an emergency.
What kind of dental emergency?
Well,
If I may pry.
my oldest son had gotten a spacer on his teeth right before COVID that was supposed to come off when that tooth was threatening to come out. And all of a sudden, he literally lost 5 teeth in a week.
Oh my
He
God.
went on a crazy run, and I was like, what about the one the spacer's on? And we felt it was a little loose. And we were like, we have to get it off. Otherwise, this piece of metal is like going to stay in, but the tooth is going to come out. It was a whole thing. This was actually back when like we thought things were bad, but obviously things were absolutely fine because now we have like 45,000 cases a day and we used to have like 2,000 cases a day. So
Yeah, I'd say it's getting better.
yeah, it's great. So yeah, it was an emergency.
I have not been to a dentist during all of COVID and also for like a year and a half before. And I was
Cool.
thinking, you know how you're supposed to always have gas in your car? Like that's just a thing people recommend,
Yeah.
Always have a full tank of gas because you never know when you might need it. I was thinking I should always keep myself up to date on all of my
Yes.
appointments and whatnot. Because the last time I went to the dentist was when I was in my second trimester with Owen. And I just figured, yeah, I got to get in, but I'll just get in one of these days. And like now I really have not, I don't want to go for an appointment if I can avoid it. But I also do feel like it's like I really should get in there. So anyway,
I don't think go now though. Now is
No.
a bonkers time. No one should. My friend's
Right.
neighbor is a nurse and said basically just assume everyone you see has COVID. That the hospitals are out of control.
yeah.
They're not covering it even enough. They're covering it now, but they're not covering it enough. It's just like, don't do anything right now.
Right.
Unless you have to. Obviously, if you have like some kind of serious medical condition you need to go take care of. But if it's like, I could do this in 6 months, like just I don't know.
We went to the Elf on a Shelf drive-through experience at the Pomona Fairplex last night.
Mhm.
Do you know
What was
about
that?
it?
Yeah, my
it's-
kids are too unruly to go to something like that.
It was really cool, actually. I mean, it's like this big, there's like all sorts of light displays, and then there's people dressed up like elves, and it's like the worst kind of like Cirque du Soleil stuff. It's like they juggle, but they're not that good at it. And I mean, but it was still very cute and very fun. And you'd like download an app and then you play it along with like different markers you hit and you play it along with that. But anyway, there were moments where you roll down your window to like, have them scan the ticket that you bought and stuff like that. And we were wearing masks. They were wearing masks. But my anxiety is such right now that I'm like, is there any way we could have been exposed from that?
I mean, probably not, but
Right.
I just
I
feel
know.
like there's no guarantees right now, I guess. So
Yeah.
I mean, they were wearing masks and face shields, but it's like I don't know. Anyway, this is a conversation for me to have with myself off mic. But anyway, yeah, I'm just like worried about everything right now.
yeah.
But I do have a hey, go fuck yourself.
Hey, go fuck yourself.
Sometimes I spend time on Nextdoor, even though I hate it. And this guy wrote that he went to a local store and he was made to feel super unwelcome. He was in his scrubs. He's black. He mentioned this, and he like wasn't, and sort of he describes how he was treated by one of the employees, and he didn't know if it was because she was worried about germs being on his scrubs, or if it's because it had to do with him being a person of color, or just if she was having a bad day, or what it was. But like she was just like a total biatch to him. So by the way, the whole post has been deleted as of now because it like people were writing so much. And I wrote something like, I'm so sorry that happened to you. I was thinking of checking out that store, but this gives me pause. No one deserves to be made to feel that unwelcome right now. And, and also like, thank you for, all your service on the front lines or whatever. Again, I don't frequently comment on there, but I felt inspired by this. And then someone responded, no one should be treated like this, period. Doesn't matter whether it's a pandemic or not. And I was like, thank you for policing my fucking comment. Like, do you really think that I'm saying that this treatment would be okay were we not in a pandemic? I don't know. It just really rubbed me the wrong way and irked me. So to this busybody commenter having to correct me, I say,
Hey, go fuck yourself.
I mean, it's so stupid. Who cares? But I did care. Does anyone else need to tell anyone to fuck off?
I do.
Okay, let's hear it.
So the only activity that we do with our kids now is at nighttime. We will sometimes get in our car and drive around and look at Christmas decorations, and they are allowed to each pick a song in turn. And that is our activity. That is all we have. And we frequently drive down Magnolia and drove by the bar called Tin Horn Flats, which is owned by an anti-mask, pro-Trump quote unquote activist. And there was a fucking maskless party. And to anyone who goes to that place and to the owner of that fucking place, there are people. I had to sit there and listen to someone on a Zoom this week talk about how his fiance, his mother, and his sister are all ICU nurses, all being put at risk of literal fucking death every day because people are rolling in there with COVID at every fucking minute. Go fuck yourselves, all of you. You don't have the right. You can do whatever the fuck you want in your own home. You don't have the right to kill other people. You are literally killing people. Get in the fucking ocean, you fucking ass banana fucking pieces of shit. Fuck off forever. Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. Yay!
Hey, go fuck yourself.
Yeah, that guy, I didn't know he was pro-Trump, but it kind of makes sense because there's been a lot of articles about, Daniel and I have talked about it. I haven't read the articles, but he's like, I paid for all this stuff to be able to like serve food outdoors safely. And this is my whole life is this business, blah, 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 blah. And we've had a lot of discussions about like, about it in this, because Daniel has more empathy for like someone who, they're not being given assistance by the government. What are they going to do? Da, da, da. But then when I read again on Nextdoor that there's like a line out the door, no social distancing, no masks, then I'm like, oh, fuck fuck this
He
guy.
put a sign on there that says peaceful protest site so that he can have people gather without masks on. And it's
Fuck
just,
that
it's
guy.
so fucking irresponsible and nasty and just garbage. Like people are panicking. People are dying. Like, I'm sorry that you think it's a fucking hoax, but you're wrong.
Right.
And you're also insane. Like, fuck off. And to me, it's everyone's focusing on the guy. I'm also focused on the people who are going there and spreading it. Like, if you guys want to spread it and then lock the doors and stay in there, that is one thing, and refuse medical treatment, fine, do it. But like, you don't have the right to kill my friend's fiance, mom, and sister with your fucking irresponsible piece of shit behavior. Go away. So annoying.
Agreed. Yeah. Yeah. Fuck that guy.
What a mood lifter I am.
Well, I think I started it. Dave, you don't have to, but if you want to.
Yeah, I can't. I certainly can't match that in intensity.
Range.
I think like the nature of the grossly incompetent handling of something like this is certainly going to like create this level of vitriol within us, and I mean, it definitely is helpful. It helps like venting our anger that way, but I don't know. It just seems like the absolute most predictable product of something like this happening. Like the pandemic itself is just like the water temperature rising, and now we're like molecules are moving. There's just frustration and anger at a level that I don't know how we're supposed to like remain calm during it. Did you guys hear the Tom Cruise audio?
Yes.
I just read it.
There was, on one hand, I could just picture a bunch of Sea Orgs standing there getting that same treatment, just this maniac screaming at them. That's what I sleep with at night, which is that level of like grandiosity. Is kind of insane. But
that was what was funny about it.
It was so like, the whole movie industry, that's what I sleep with at night. But there was something kind of like, I don't know what the right term was, as far as like that level of leadership is what we needed right at the start. Like, I don't care if you're in fucking QAnon. I don't care if you believe you'll get through this. If you think it's a hoax, pretend that it's real and give a fuck. No one's going to come give you an award because you read 1984 and no other books. And you got through this and saw Big Brother trying to get you and Big Tech was trying to get you and everyone fooled you. No one's going to come give you a sticker and say, you did it. You're a fucking genius. That's not going to happen. So just show people that you care the tiniest bit. All you have to do is wear a fucking mask. So that's mostly to the anti-mask people. But the Tom Cruise thing was there was some level of just like, what I wouldn't give for that type of leadership. That was nice. Because no one on that set is like, I read on fucking Reddit that this. They're just like, I'm wearing the mask. I don't want to get fired. I don't want this psychopath yelling at me.
Yeah. It was like, he was right, but then also every other sentence was like, I am also the president of Earth. You're like, you're not the president of Earth. Like, everyone should just wear a mask. Like, you don't also have to do a bunch of self-compliments. Like, like, that's like if I just said the tin horn thing and then I was like, and also I am the example of how to go to a bar or whatever. Like, my leadership, every bar owner is calling Wendy Molyneux every night to ask how bars should be. Like, it's not that. Like, you can just have the mad part without also saying that you're the president of Earth. But I love Tom Cruise. I love the Mission Impossible franchise. So I'm on board. Yell at people. Get me my movie. Just kidding. Yeah,
it's the strangest thing that he just abandoned his daughter because she's not in Scientology. And we're all aware of that. And everyone goes, yeah, but fucking these movies are great. We'll all watch them. We all love them. We somehow think he's still like endearing in spite of being, I think,
in spite of Scientology being absolutely bonkers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I go opening night every time. Opening night. I'm not kidding. Me and my friends go to opening night of every Mission Impossible movie, and we're all deadly serious about it. We're not doing a bit. We love the movies. We clap. We love it.
If Keith Raniere, is that the name? We're like
Keith Raniere,
yeah.
If he had that same level of like grandiosity, and
he controlled the weather with his energy.
We would be lined up the same way if he were a blockbuster superstar. We would be like, oh, look, they got branded. That it's weird, but these movies are fucking great.
That's where he went wrong.
Yeah.
He filmed like instructional stuff about Nexium as opposed to action movies.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Idiot.
Listen, Christmas hounds, this has been fun. But it is time to go. So, everyone, you've heard me talk at length, patreon.com/Alison Rosen. I'm on Cameo. Lots of cameos happening lately. I would like to thank all of the new patrons. S.A., Stephanie F., Sugarbon 85, Crystal L has now signed up at a higher level, Tara M., Anna E., or Anna E., Jennifer G., Shannon F., Christine R., and Trice S. Hello, Trice. I know him. Has now signed up at a higher level too. Welcome. I hope you are enjoying it. I love you guys. You're the best. I'm going to be doing a Patreon Zoom party this weekend for people at the confidant level or higher. So that'll be a lot of fun. And when I say this weekend, I mean the day after or the day after Christmas. It'll be the 26th. And then also follow me on social media at Alison Rosen on Twitter and Instagram. Please subscribe to my YouTube, youtube.com/Alison Rosen. And my Amazon shop, amazon.com/shop/Alison Rosen. And if you like what you're hearing, make sure you are subscribed and leave us a nice comment. 5 stars is our favorite. Wendy, where can we find you? What should we look out for?
I am on Twitter at Wendy Molyneux. I made a public Instagram that is not just pictures of my kids. I have a show that premieres February 14th called The Great North. It'll be on after The Simpsons, but before Bob's Burgers. I write for Great North and for Bob's Burgers, so you can check those shows out. So my Instagram is at The Great North Wendy. That's my one that's out there. David and I have a podcast that there will be a second season sometime. We are still working on it because I'm working 14 hours a day on the show and David is also working on other things, but we will eventually have it. That was a really long. Oh, and I thought of this. Sorry. Can I promote one tiny thing?
Of course.
All our talk of Santa reminded me that my friend Ashley Perryman-Quach illustrated a book called Santa's Husband, that if you would like an alternative view of Santa, and it's very funny and cute and appropriate for children, that I just thought I'd mention it because of all of our Santa talk, that people might like to check that out, especially maybe if you have an LGBTQ child who might be interested in a different view of their most beloved Christmas hound of all.
I love it. Remind me the title again.
Santa's Husband.
Santa's Husband.
Yeah.
I love
very
it.
Cute.
And in your podcast, these are those tapes.
Yes.
Yeah. You
David?
can hear 7 episodes of it currently, I think wherever you get podcasts. And it seems like people have enjoyed them, the ones that are out so far. And so season 2 coming eventually. So subscribe is the best way to get them when they show up. And then I apologize. I haven't been doing my normal podcast much during this and for a variety of reasons, but I'll get back to that soon. And the movie show on Sci-Fi, I have a little small part in, I think, episode 9. I don't know which one it is, but it's a fun puppet show. It's a silly sketch show. And then if you're an After Effects whiz and you have any tutorials, I've been watching a bunch of those, learning After Effects. Send me a link to your page. I'll check out your tutorials. And I think that's... Oh, if you want to listen to some of my stand-up, there's a bunch available through iTunes and things like that, Pandora, all those places. And then there's a animated stand-up special I made called One-Headed Beast that's on Amazon Prime and Roku and a variety of other places. That's it for me.
Now, if they want to send it to you, how would they do that?
The best way is just to go to my website and email me directly. Sometimes people message me through some of the other apps and I don't always see those and or remember to reply. So the old-fashioned email, you can put a stamp on an envelope and send that as well. But I feel like that's the equivalent, right? Like
Yeah.
a website, but it's it's the one I use the most. So that's the most direct way.
All right. And Tone Zone?
I am at Tony Thaxton on Twitter and Instagram. Oh, wait, I forgot I was supposed to do it like this. I am at
Tony Thaxton.
Yeah.
and my podcast, Bizarre Albums, every Tuesday, and Christmas is December 25th. That's all I got.
Oh, I knew something was coming up.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone who celebrates Christmas, Merry Christmas. Thank you guys so much for being on the show. You're the best listeners. I love you. You matter. Goodbye.
Hey, you know about the Alison Rosen Show? We had a good time